everyone's favorite segment, Soundbite. In case you didn't see our last episode, Soundbite is a segment where Steve and I react to a clip of someone's post-game comments. Maybe they say something on a podcast, say something pregame, whatever it is. Someone said something interesting that we want to take a listen to. We listen. So for today's Soundbite, Nuggets head coach Michael Malone talking post-game about what he thought about Denver's game and their level of effort in Game 2. So let's take a listen to that.
We had guys out there that were just, whether feeling sorry for themselves for not making shots or thinking they can just turn it on or off. This is not the preseason. This is not the regular season. It's not round. This is the NBA Finals. And that to me is really, really perplexing, disappointing. And I asked the team, I asked our player, you guys tell me why we lost. And they knew the answer. If we're going to try to go down there and regain control of this series and get home court advantage back, we're going to have to outwork Miami, which we didn't do tonight. And our discipline is going to have to be off the charts. And as I mentioned after game one, the fact that they got 16 wide open threes was concerning. They didn't make them. And so we got lucky in game one. Tonight they made them. In the fourth quarter, you give up 36 points on 69% from the field. That's not going to cut it, man. That's not going to cut it. And to me, the wheels fell off, really fell off to start that fourth quarter. Just our inability or unwillingness to get stops and have a defensive mindset in the fourth quarter was very problematic. There's a great chance that we don't get a quality shot like Jamal got, which was online and from my perspective, looked like it had a great chance of going in. And we've seen Jamal make shots like that before. So I felt in that transition, we're going to have the best chance to get the look that we wanted.
All right, so there you have it. Head coach of the Denver Nuggets, Michael Malone, talking about what he thought of Denver's effort and their play in Game 3. Steve, your initial reaction to today's soundbite.
He consistently talked about how the first three quarters felt like a completely separate game than the fourth quarter. And last night, I told you the same thing. Michael Malone said the first three quarters from the Miami Heat shot 43%. And then in the fourth quarter, they had 36 points on 63% shooting. You mentioned as well earlier that the Miami Heat have outscored the Denver Nuggets by 21 points in the fourth quarter. Another thing he mentioned, the Heat never give up. That's something that Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley really dig into the Heat players and dig into that franchise. And it just says something about the Miami Heat that even though they looked as bad as they did the first three quarters, that fourth quarter, they didn't give up.
I've never really known where to properly rank Michael Malone as an NBA head coach. Like, I knew he was always really good. Didn't know where he ranked as far as the pedigree. Right. Michael Malone is a player's coach, and Michael Malone is someone who, it's a weird dynamic when you think about it. The NBA is a bunch of grown men listening to another grown man, which is, I mean, that's what sports is, fun. But Michael Malone strikes me as someone who, no matter what level he's at or who he's coaching, like, he's going to demand the respect of the locker room and he's going to demand accountability. And he just seems like a really good, strong-willed and strong-minded basketball coach. But his press conference made me more hesitant and more wary of the Heat than ever because he said the same two things over and over and over again in that press conference. And that was the Nuggets lacked effort and discipline, and they just let the Heat shoot too much. He gave the Heat zero credit in the fact that, like, yeah, they came out and beat us. He mentioned that they're hardworking and that they don't give up, all that good stuff. But we knew that already, like that you had mentioned from Miami. He also said that the Heat came out in the fourth quarter in desperation mode, really giving them no credit as to why it was they lost the game. That sounds like the Heat were throwing up shots and the Nuggets weren't defending them and they were making them. I mentioned earlier that I didn't agree with the no timeout call for Jamal Murray, but after hearing his explanation of we trust Jamal, he makes those shots, I really respect the awareness to say Miami has been beating us in a half-court defense. Let's not let them get set up and just trust Murray to beat them. Jamal Murray is a underrated and becoming one of his own high-level playoff performers. After him explaining it, I am okay with the no timeout call, but I'm really not okay with him just saying, yeah, we gave that one up, which is what happened. I agree. But like I said, that just makes me more disappointed as a Heat fan being like, yeah, that is really what happened. And it's coming right from someone who was right there watching the game. I am not excited about us going forward, going into game 3.
I agree, and I can see why that is your feeling.
Now listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.